Hello each and everyone, welcome back to ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE, and now in this live session we are going to teach you about the human reproduction. Okay, in the previous live session we have already discussed about the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants, and now we are going to study about human reproduction. Clear? So let's begin our study. And yes, if you watch this session, if you find this session helpful, then don't forget to subscribe to our amazing channel ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE, and also don't forget to hit the like button below down there, and do share this live chat with your friends, right? Okay, so let's begin. First, human reproduction, right? Well, from the term that is human reproduction, we have seen that there are different methods to reproduce. Okay, the different methods in case of the humans to reproduce. So different methods were that it have come up, if we come to the animal kingdom, we find different methods. They can form the spores, they can form they can have all the asexual method of reproduction, actual, and they can also have the sexual method of reproduction. But in case of humans, we find different kinds of fertilization. In case of them, we find different kinds of fertilization. One is internal fertilization, another is external fertilization. Okay, internal fertilization and external fertilization. Now internal fertilization and external fertilization occurs in different type of organisms, and these organisms are known as what? One is known as viviparous and one is known as oviparous. Now who are viviparous? Who are viviparous? The ones who give birth to the young ones are known as viviparous, and the ones who lays the eggs are known as oviparous. Okay, so they are laying the eggs and they are known as the oviparous. So who are oviparous? The birds are oviparous, right? And who are viviparous? The mammals are oviparous, the viviparous. Okay, the mammals are oviparous. Now in this chapter, that is in human reproduction, what we will focus on? This is very important to know that what we will focus on. In this chapter, we will focus on the reproduction which actually humans do. So what type of reproduction we find in humans? We find sexual reproduction in case of humans, right? There are various steps, okay, various processes, various procedure, okay, which occurs in the case of human reproduction, because humans are viviparous and they give birth to the young ones. Clear? Now in this chapter, what we will study in detail, we will discuss through a short mind map. So if you want to note it down, you can note it with me, and obviously you can keep it as a nice note which is pinned up as a flashcard in your biology notebook. Okay, so first write down the chapter like this: human reproduction. It is an umbrella term. And what else will come inside this human reproduction? Yes, what else will come? First step, because always I taught you in the previous chapters also that reproduction goes on through the main stages, right? What are the main stages of reproduction? First is pre-fertilization. Next is fertilization. Okay, when fertilization will occur, the male and the female pronucleus will fuse with each other, then it is known as fertilization. Now we will go through post fertilization. That is after fertilization, when the baby is born, the parent is caring the baby. After post fertilization events are parental care, post fertilization event are lactation. Okay, post fertilization events are there can be lots of diseases in the babies also, so that are also the post fertilization event. Okay, now the baby needs to be protected for long 1 year, and it needs to be cared for long 1 year to settle and substand in this environment, in this earth, in this world. Is it clear? So pre-fertilization events goes on through which stage, dear? Yes, it will always go through gametogenesis, as it was going in the plants, as it was going in the lower groups of the animals. Similarly, it will also follow up same process in the human reproduction also. In gametogenesis, we have humans are what type of organisms, dear? Yes, humans are the dioecious organisms, right? Humans are the dioecious, that is, these humans are unisexual, though there are some exceptions, and we can find bisexual humans. Okay, we can find bisexual humans, but in natural case, what it occurs, that humans are unisexual. Clear? Now, when the humans are unisexual or they are dioecious, then what will happen, dear? If they are dioecious, then what will happen? They will have their two forms, right? Two phenotypically different forms. So who are the phenotypically different forms? One is the male. Male is the phenotypically different form 1, and second is female, which is phenotypically different. The female and the male, both of them look different, right? Where is the, when a male child grows up, then the male child is having what? Beards, mustaches, right? And when a female child grows up, the female child have the periods, right? That is the main difference between the female and the male, and also they look different. The female and the male also looks phenotypically different. Clear? So these are the two entities which we can find in human reproduction. One is male and another is female. So as there are two entities, so in case of the gametogenesis, also there will be there are two types of gametogenesis. The first one, that is the male gamete reproduction. Okay, there will be male gamete reproduction from the male, and the second one will be female gamete reproduction, okay, from the female. Now female gamete reproduction is known as what is the name of the female gamete reproduction? It is known as oogenesis. It is known as what, dear? It is known as oogenesis. Clear? And male gamete reproduction is known as spermatogenesis. Okay, it is known as spermatogenesis. I am only teaching you from the basic level, and then we will move on to the higher level or the depth one. Okay, so gradually we will move to that level. Now in the case of human reproduction, there are two systems also, right? There are two systems. What are the two systems? As there are two male and the female, similarly there will be two reproductive system, right? Two reproductive system. One will be the male reproductive system. One will be the male reproductive system. Another will be your female reproductive system. Female reproductive system. Clear? Now in the male reproductive system there will be certain parts, and in the female reproductive system also there will be certain parts. Okay, female reproductive system, there are two types of organ. One is the primary organ, okay, and another is the accessory organ. Okay, primary organ and accessory organ. In the accessory organ, what we will find? Yes, you can also write in the mind map what we'll find in the accessory organ. We will find uterus. We'll find uterus, which helps in reproduction, but this is not the main organ. Primary organ is the main organ. Okay, so what is the primary organ? Primary organ are the ovaries. And which helps the uterus, accessory organ are helping the uterus. It is the fallopian tube, right? It is the fallopian tube. Okay, so let me erase this and write the names of the other organ. Uterus, then fallopian tube. Clear? The next one is your vagina. or the vaginal orifice or the canal or the birth canal from where the baby will come out and from where the sperm will go inside. That is your female vagina. Okay. And this and what is the primary organ? Primary organ are your ovaries. Okay, primary organ are your ovaries. I'll also draw the female reproductive system and show you how it looks. But before that, we'll study what are the parts of the female reproductive system. Okay, now male reproductive system has also two main parts. One is your primary organ. Okay, one is your primary organ. Another is your accessory organ. Another is our accessory organ. Now, what is the primary organ that is present in the male reproductive system? Yes, the primary organ that is present in the male reproductive system is known as the testes. Okay, it is known as the testes. Okay. And this accessory organ which helps the female reproductive system is your vas deferens. And along with the vas deferens, another thing is that is epididymis. Okay, and epididymis. And along with the epididymis, another thing is there, that is your copulatory organ and etc. etc. So lots of other male accessory organs are also present, which we will learn, but these two are important. Vas deferens and epididymis are very important. Scrotum is there, then your Sertoli cells, etc. etc. These are not reproductive organ, but it is present in the reproduction, right? It helps in the reproduction. Okay, now after studying this, we'll study about some hormones, because when there is reproduction, there is the role of some hormones. Some hormones are actually playing the role. So what type of hormones are playing the role? There are two types of hormone playing the role, or these hormones are known as the GnRH. Okay, what is the full form of GnRH? We'll write and we'll learn also. So these are the hormones. Some hormones helps in the reproduction, because hormones makes you excited. These are the chemical messengers. These help you to become rich, right? And they help you to reach all the messages. So these are your actually chemical messenger. FSH and LH are the two hormones playing important role in reproduction. And other hormones are also there, but these are two main hormones. Next, after these, in human reproduction, we have to study about the post-fertilization period, as I already say, because for pre-fertilization is gametogenesis. Fertilization is about all the playing of the hormones and other factors. But where is post-fertilization? So in the post-fertilization event, we will also study some main important things. So what are those main important things? After fertilization, we will study about the main important thing, that is your implantation. That is after fertilization, how the new formed pronucleus of new consumed from zygote is implanted into the uterus of the mother's womb in the endometrium wall. Okay, next we will study about parturition, that is after the birth of the baby, how the baby comes out from the birth canal. And then is lactation. Okay, lactation is after the birth of the baby, how the baby is nourished in this environment, how the mother breastfeeds the baby and the baby grows up day by day. So this was all about human reproduction in short, and now we will move ahead to the next part to learn in details one by one. Clear, students? So let's move ahead without any further go. And yes, before moving ahead, the main important thing which you need to do is you need to subscribe to our channel ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE for amazing live sessions like this every day at 12 p.m. because every day we will be live, we will come to you and we will teach you every day class 12 and class 11 NCERT biology one by one chapter, and also will give you short notes, mind maps and each and everything which you can get only in single channel, that is ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE. And also don't forget to refer this channel to your friends, relatives, batchmates, classmates, coachmates and your educators who are in need of this. Okay, so this is we will also help you to crack the NEET-UG. So make sure that you subscribe to an amazing channel, ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE. Now let's move ahead. Okay, so now we will study one by one, starting from your formation of the two type of gamete. So first formation is the primary sex organs, okay, or the primary reproductive organs. So what is the formation of the, how we will study the primary, how it is formed. So essential organs which form the gametes, these are what organs? These are the main organs. I already told you what organs are these. These are the main organs, or these are your essential organs. Okay, these are your essential organs. Now what type of, as humans are dioecious, so two type of organs will get. One will be your male gamete, right? One will be your male gametes, and from the male gamete what you will get? You will get the testes. From the male you will get the testes, and from the female you will get what? You will get the ovaries. Okay, we will get the ovaries. So ovaries and testes are the two main or the essential organ which helps in the reproduction process. Next is your secondary sex organ. Okay, secondary sex organ. So from the passage, it helps in forming the passage for the gametes to for the union of the male and the female gametes. Okay, so secondary organs forms the passage. So forming the passage and making a way out for the gamete fusion is done by the secondary sex organs. Okay, these are actually the canals. Now in the males what we can find, what type of canals in the males and what type of canals in the females? Yes, what type of canals we can find in the males? Canals, that is epididymis. Okay, we can find epididymis. We can find vas deferens. These are two important canals, and other rest are also there, but these are two most important and these are the most required. Next, in the female we will find fallopian tube. Okay, and we will find uterus, and we will find vagina. Okay, these are very, very important in case of the female. Now how these sex characters develop, that is how this testis is developing, how this ovary is developing, how this epididymis is developing, we'll also study about that. So next we will study about the development of the sex organs. So now we will study about the development of the sex organs, how actually the sex organs develop, right? So during the intrauterine life, when the zygote is in the inside the uterus, okay, during the intrauterine life, what happens? The testes and the ovary develop from the mesoderm in the abdominal cavity. So you will just write in your note that during the inter life, the testes is also developing, the ovaries is also developing, okay, inside the mother's womb. And from where it is developing, or from where it is deriving, from where it is being derived, it is derived from the mesoderm, or it is testes and ovary both are the in mesodermal origin. Okay, it is formed from the mesoderm, and where it is formed in the abdominal cavity in case of the fetus. Where it is located, where the testes and ovary are located, it is located in the abdominal cavity in the fetus, right? During the birth, what happens? during the birth, this was during what? This was during the intrauterine life. Now what happens during birth? Okay, during birth what happens? The testis descends down in the scrotal sac. The testis descends down. Testis descends down into the scrotal cavity via inguinal canal. Via the inguinal canal, the testis descends down in the scrotal cavity. Now what are the scrotal cavity and what is the testis, you will learn. So if this is your if this is your copulatory organ or your penis, then here is your testes, right? Here is your testes, like this. You can refer the NCERT diagram and you can see that this is the scrotal cavity where the testes actually comes and it descends down to the scrotal cavity via the tube, that is epididymis, and when it via the tube of the vas deferens epididymis and vasa efferentia, and when it descends down to the scrotal chamber, this is your scrotal chamber actually. So when it descends down to the scrotal chamber, it is protected and from the external environment, and scrotal chamber temperature is also, the scrotal temperature is also 2 to 2.5 degree less, 2.5 degrees Celsius less than the actual temperature. So this is a MCQ NEET bomber question. Okay, this is a NEET bomber question, so don't forget to learn this. The scrotal chamber temperature is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less than your body temperature. So if your body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, then the scrotal temperature where the testis resides, the scrotal temperature will be 35 or 34. Okay, so this is the about the scrotal temperature. Now how the male in the scrotum, how the scrotum is formed, how the male primary organ is formed, we will learn one by one. So this was all about the male. Okay, so we'll study about the testes, about the internal structure of the male and the male reproductive system in details. The male reproductive system. Okay, just give me 1 second. So in the male reproductive system, what happens? There the primary organ formation is there. Okay, the primary organs form. So in the primary organs, what we get? I already told you the primary organs are testes. So one pair of testes is there. Pair of testes is there. Okay, so one pair of testes equals to 4 minus 5 into 2 equals to, that is 3 centimeter. Okay, now this is situated in the scrotum. Where it is situated, dear? It is situated in the scrotum. Okay, and the temperature what is remains in the scrotum is 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius, lesser than the body temperature. Clear? Now what is the, why it is situated in the scrotum, and what does this scrotum actually helps in? So scrotum, this scrotum is lined by muscles, and these muscles are known as the Darto's muscle. Darto's muscles, and these Darto muscles helps in temperature regulation. Helps in temperature regulation. Okay, and this scrotum also have another muscle, which muscle is known as cremaster muscle. Cremaster muscle, and this cremaster muscle lies between external and internal layers. External and internal layers of the spermatic fascia. Of the spermatic fascia. Clear? So that's why the testis is always present in the scrotum. Okay, that's why the testes are always residing, or these are present inside the scrotum. Because scrotum has two type of muscle. The first one is the Darto's muscle, and the second one is the cremator's muscle. Now the Darto's muscle helps in temperature regulation, and the temperature regulation is very important for the testes. If the testes are produced in the higher temperature, then it will be testes will get so the sperms will get destroyed. Okay, so the scrotum lies in the scrotum has two muscles. One is the Darto's muscle, another muscle is the cremator's muscle. Clear? This was all about the testes. Now each testis wall is attached to the abdominal cavity through one cord. Each testis wall is attached to the abdominal cavity through one cord, and that cord is known as the spermatic cord. That cord is known as the spermatic cord. Now this spermatic cord contains some things, and what are those things spermatic cords contain? What are those things? These are very important. First thing which the spermatic cord contains, that is the vas deferens. Okay, vas deferens or vasa differentia. And the next thing which it contains is gonadal veins. It contains the gonadal veins. And the third thing which contains, it is the gonadal arteries. It is the gonadal arteries. And the last thing it contains is the lymphatics. And the last thing it contains is the lymphatics. Okay, so vasa deferens, gonadal veins, gonadal arteries, and lymphatics. These all are the components of the spermatic cord. And what is spermatic cord? The testes are attached to the abdominal cavity. The testes are attached to the abdominal cavity, right, Through what? Through the spermatic cord. It is attached to the abdominal cavity through the spermatic cord. The spermatic cord contains what? Vasa differentia, gonadal veins, gonadal arteries and lymphatics. Clear? Now you can already study the sectional view of the male pelvis region, where the testis is there, ureters is there, seminal vesicle is there, urinary bladder is there, vasa deferens is there, ejaculatory duct is there, rectum is there, anus is there, penis is there, prostate gland is there, urethra is there, glans penis is there, and also there is a foreskin at the tip of the penis. So these are important, which you can study through the sectional view of the male pelvis region. Okay, but now we'll study, or we will cover the important parts. So the important parts are such as internal structure of the testes. Okay, we have studied about the external structure. Now we will study about the internal structure of what? Of the testes. The internal structure of the testes we will study. So testes is covered by 3 coats. Okay, now the testes is covered by 3 coats. Now what are the 3 coats? What are the 3 coats? The 3 coats are the 3 layers, or you may say the 3 layers. Okay, now what are the 3 layers? The 3 layers are, the first one is tunica vaginalis. The first layer is tunica vaginalis, okay, which is the outermost layer. Next is tunica albuginea. Sorry. And third layer is the tunica vesiculosa. And the third layer is tunica vasculosa. Okay, so among these 3 layers, the first one was what? The first layer was the outermost layer. This one is the outermost. This one is the middle layer. This one is the middle layer. And this one is the innermost layer. This one is the innermost layer. Okay, from outside to inward, vaginalis, albuginea, उसके बाद tunica vasculosa. Next, each testis is divided into what? Yes, so each testis is divided into, okay, it is divided into 250 compartments. 250 compartments are present in each testis. Okay, and this is really true, not false. Okay, and it is the testicular lobules. Each testis divides into 250 compartments. First is the testicular lobule. Then testicular lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. The testicular lobules have 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules, right? These seminiferous tubules join together at apices and the outer mediastinum. It joins where? It joins in the apices. Okay, and where it joins? It joins at the outer mediastinum. Okay, so it joins at our apices and outer mediastinum. Next, these are called as retitestis. These are called as retitestis. Clear? Next, what happens after that? The retitestis which is present, it fuse to form 10 to 20 vasa afferentia. It fuses, the reti testis fuses and forms 10 to 20 vasa efferentia. Okay. Now after forming the vasa efferentia, it opens into common tubule to form epididymis. It opens up into common tubule, okay, into the common tubule, into CT, to form what? To form the epididymis. Okay. Now what is epididymis? Epididymis is the functional maturation of the sperm. When the sperm finally matures, that is epididymis. Epididymis enters the abdominal cavity. Where it enters? Abdominal cavity. As what? As it enters as a vas deferens. It enters the abdominal cavity as vas deferens. Okay. And now vas deferens runs upward in the abdominal cavity. It coils around the urethra and it ciliates to form ampulla, and it receives the seminal vesicle, and now the vas deferens forms ejaculatory duct, and then it opens up into the prostatic urethra. Okay, so this was after the vas deferens. So first vas deferens will be running on the running upward on the abdominal cavity. Then it will be coiling around what? It will coil around the uterus, uretus, right? And then what will happen? And it will dilate to form the ampulla. It will dilate around and it will form the ampulla. Then it will receive what? It will receive the seminal vesicle. It will receive the seminal vesicles, and then that vas deferens will form the ejaculatory duct. What will be formed? It will form the penis or the ejaculatory duct, and then this ejaculatory duct will ultimately open to the prostatic urethra. Ultimately it will open to the prostatic urethra. So this is all the part of the testes. Now each testis is divided into, I will repeat another time, each testis is divided into 250 compartments. Okay, testicular lobule. Each lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. Clear? Now each 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules joins together at what? It joins together at the apices. See, here I have written apices and outer mediastinum, right? And then this is known as what? This is known as the reti testes. This is known as the reti testes. The question comes, what is reti testes? So you can obviously answer that yes, ma'am has taught us what is reti testes, and we can obviously answer it. So this is reti testes. Okay. After forming the reti testes, what happens? Many reti testes fuse among themselves, and they form 10 to 20 vasa efferentia, right? And then this vasa efferentia opens up into what? It opens up into common tubule, which is known as epididymis, right? Epididymis. Epididymis ultimately forms up and opens up or enters the abdominal cavity. Okay, where does it enter? It enters the abdominal cavity as vasa efferentia. Then the vasa efferentia joins, right, and coils up, and it forms coils in the ureter. And then after coiling up the on the ureter, it forms what? It forms the then it coils to the it coils to the ureter, right, and it forms the ampulla. Okay, it forms the ampulla. Then it forms the seminal vesicle. Then it receives the seminal vesicle. Now after receiving the seminal vesicle, now it forms the ejaculatory duct. Okay, and after having the ejaculatory duct, it opens up into the prostatic ureter. It opens up into the prostatic ureter, right? So this was all about the male testis formation or development of about the internal structure of the testes. It was all about the internal structure of the testes. Clear? Okay. Okay. Next, we'll study about accessory reproductive glands. Okay, what are the accessory reproductive glands? Just give me a second, I'll have a sip of water and then I'll continue. Till then, if you have not written it, you can just take out your notebook and write each and everything. And don't forget to subscribe to amazing channel ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE. And don't forget to share this video with all the learners, batchmates, coachmates, groupmates, etc. etc. You can share with all the learners. Clear, students? Okay. So let's move ahead. Okay. Now let's move ahead. If you have noted down each and everything. Now we'll study about the accessory reproductive gland. Okay, accessory reproductive gland. So first one, what is the accessory reproductive gland? I taught you. In case of the male, it is seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle. Okay. And seminal vesicle, what is the function of seminal vesicle? The function of the seminal vesicle is it secretes seminal fluid. It secretes seminal fluid. Number 2, what it does? It forms 60 to 70% of the semen. 60 to 70% of the semen. And number 3, fructose is found there. Okay, so fructose is found there. And what is fructose? Fructose is actually the fuel for the sperm. Fructose is actually the fuel. Okay, so fructose is actually the fuel for the sperm. This was all about the first one, that is first accessory reproductive gland, that is seminal vesicle. Okay, now the next reproductive gland is your prostate gland. The next reproductive gland is your prostate gland. Now what happens in the prostate gland? Yes, the prostate gland is located, or it secretes seminal fluid. What it secretes? It's also secrete the, sorry, one second. So what does it secrete? It is located between the urinary bladder. Okay, it is located between the urinary bladder, and it is unpaired. Okay, there is no pair of the prostate gland. So if it is asked that name one unpaired gland of the male accessory reproductive system, okay, or the male reproductive system, then you have to say that prostate gland is one of the unpaired gland. And then where it opens up? It opens up in the prostatic urethra. Okay, it opens up into the prostatic urethra. And the last is, it secretes what type of fluid? It secretes the prostatic fluid. Okay, as the seminal vesicle, right, this seminal vesicle was secreting seminal fluid. Similarly, prostate gland will secrete the prostatic fluid. Okay, clear? Prostatic fluid. Now the prostatic fluid is of almost 30% of the semen. Prostatic fluid contains about the 30% of the semen, and it also helps in sperm activation. It also helps in sperm activation. Clear? Okay. Next, we'll study about the third one, that is bulbourethral gland. Third one, that is bulbourethral gland or the Cowper's gland. Clear? So where it is present? First, the function is, first we will study about location. So it is present in the membranous urethra. It is present in the membranous urethra. Clear? Next thing what we will study, next thing about this bulbourethral gland is, where does it open up? Actually, where does it opens into, or where does it opens up? So it opens up in the penile urethra. It opens up in the penile urethra. Okay. Next, third one what we'll study is very important, that is function. What is the function of the bulbourethral gland? So function of the bulbourethral gland is very easy, that is lubrication of the penis. Clear? So this was all about the third gland. So first gland was what? Seminal vesicle, right? Second gland was prostate gland, and the third gland is your bulbourethral gland, which is also known as by the name that is Cowper's gland. Now we will study that each and every gland secretes some of the other fluid or secretes some of the other thing which helps in the lubrication or lubrication of the penis. Right? Now what is a semen actually? Semen is a fluid and it is also containing some other thing. That is the main thing, that is sperm. It is containing the sperm. Okay. So semen is containing your sperm, plus it is containing your accessory reproductive gland fluids. Okay. So what are the accessory reproductive gland fluids? It will be the fluid of the bulbourethral gland, plus it will be the fluid of the seminal vesicle, that is the seminal fluid. It will be the fluid of the prostate gland, that is the prostatic fluid. So each and everything, sperm plus all the fluids of the accessory reproductive gland is your semen. Okay, is your semen which is ejected. And what is the pH of the semen is semen acidic or alkaline? So the semen is not acidic, it is alkaline, and the pH is 7.3. okay, and normal sperm count is, in a normal male, okay, on a normal human being, it is 20 to 120 million per ml. okay, if you can measure per ml of water and see in per ml of water how many, if it is a per ml of semen fluid, then how many sperms are present in that per ml. 20 to 120 million sperms are present in only just 1 ml of fluid. okay, next. Now we study about the kitchen of the sperm, where the sperm is produced. We have studied about sperm. Now what the sperm is produced? The sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubule, right? Where the sperm is produced? The sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubule. Now what is seminiferous tubule? Seminiferous tubule is actually known as the kitchen of the sperm. What is seminiferous tubule? Seminiferous tubule is actually the kitchen of the sperm. okay, 1 second guys. Yeah, okay, so it is actually the kitchen where the sperm is produced. The sperm is produced in the seminiferous tubules. okay, now we'll study about the histology of the seminiferous tubule, or histology of this kitchen. Every kitchen has its own secret, right? Similarly, the seminiferous tubule also has its own secrets. So we will study about the histology of seminiferous tubule. Clear? Now, what is present in the outer surface? What is present in the inner surface? What is present in other surfaces? So that is very, very important. So what is present? We'll study here. Okay. So let me have a sip of water. Okay, so yes, outer surface. Okay, so in the outer surface, what is present in the outer surface? The thing that is present is white, fibrous, connective tissue. Okay, what is present? White, fibrous, connective tissue. Clear? And in the inner surface, okay, in the inner surface, what is present? Cuboidal, germinal, epithelium. Yes, what is present? Cuboidal, germinal, epithelium. So cuboidal, germinal, epithelium is present in the inner surface, right? Now the inner surface is made up of spermatogenic cells. What it forms? It forms the sperms. It is made up of what? It is made up of spermatogenic cells. And what does spermatogenic cells do us? This spermatogenic cells actually forms the sperms. Okay, and what is the function of the cuboidal epithelium? Okay, in some case we can also find with the cuboidal epithelium, some are the columnar cells also. We can also find the columnar cells also in this epithelium, right? And what is this called? This is called as the Sertoli cells. This is called as the Sertoli cells. Okay, so in the histology of the seminiferous tubules, what we see that in the outer surface there is white fibrous connective tissue. In the inner surface there is cuboidal germinal epithelium tissue. The cuboidal germinal epithelium tissue is made up of what? It is made up of the spermatogenic cells. Now the spermatogenic cells actually does what? What is the function of the spermatogenic cells? The function is formation of the sperm, or it forms the sperm, and then somewhere or in exception, this is an exception because every time we have an exception in our life, right? So every time we have exception, and the cuboidal germinal epithelium also, in where there also we can find some columnar cells in this epithelium. Okay, in the inner surface also of the seminiferous tubules, or inner surface of this kitchen of the sperm production, we will find some columnar cells. Okay, now what these columnar cells do, or what these columnar cells are the main thing, or what is the function? So these cells are your Sertoli cells. Now Sertoli cells are very VVI important. This is one of the important question where the examiner's favorite point of view, where the examiner will pick up questions from this. This is a very important point of view of the NEET-UG. So you have to learn what is Sertoli cell and what is the function of the Sertoli cell and how does it actually performs its tasks. So Sertoli cells actually provides nourishment. Okay, do you know what is nourishment and what is nutrition? So sperms also need nourishment, sperms also need nutrition. Okay, the sperms are made of a sweet substances, that is fructose, and that's why it also needs nourishment and nutrition that is provided by the Sertoli cells. Okay, so you may say that if our mother is providing nourishment and nutrition to us, right, and we are developing in the mother's womb, similarly where the sperms are developing in the seminiferous tubules, and who is the mother of those sperm cells? The Sertoli cells is the mother. The Sertoli cells is providing the nutrition to the sperm cells. Clear? And these are also known as the subtenticular cells. So another name, obviously your mama has another name, right? Sometimes you call your mama mummy, sometimes your mama you call your mummy mom, right? So similarly the Sertoli cells also has another name that is known as subtenticular cells. And sometimes the examiner asks that what are the function of the subtenticular cell, but the ones or the students who are very used to with the term of the Sertoli cells, they will never be able to tell the next name, and they will never be able to tell the another name, that is subtenticular cell, and they get confused and they are not able to answer the question right there. So that is the examiner's point of view. So always try to read at the chapter in the examiner's point of view. Clear? Now we'll move to the next part, that is how the endocrine cells are found in between. So in between the seminiferous tubules we can find another cells. What cells we can find in the seminiferous tubules? Let me write it down. Yes, I'll take another color. Sure. So what type of cells and other cells we find? That is your endocrine cells. Okay. We also find endocrine cells in the seminiferous tubule. Okay, these endocrine cells, okay, these endocrine cells are also known as the Leydig cell, or the another name of the Leydig cell is what? Another name of the Leydig cell is the interstitial cell. Okay, so what is the another name of the Leydig cell? I'll write it down. These endocrine cells are also known as the Leydig cells, right? Another name of the Leydig cell is interstitial cell. Okay, so as I'm writing, just write it down so that you will be able to read from this note only. So if you make the note in your copy, as there is less space in my slide, so I have to write like this, but you will have more space on your white page notebook, and you can write one by one that in the seminiferous tubules what type of things, or what type of cells we find. So we also find the endocrine cells, which are already known as the Leydig cells, and these Leydig cells, another name for the Leydig cell is interstitial cell. The interstitial cell, what does it do? It secretes testosterone. So testosterone is what? Testosterone is a hormone, and the hormones are what? Hormones are chemical messenger. If it was not able to secrete this testosterone, then the testosterone will not be able to say the seminiferous tubule to increase the production of the spermatogenesis, or to increase the sperm production. So it secretes what? It secretes testosterone. Okay, testosterone is another hormone. Testosterone is another hormone. So it secretes this testosterone, and ultimately testosterone promotes spermatogenesis. Okay, ultimately the testosterone says that yes, it's now the time. It tells as in your brain, you just have an alarm clock to get up. Okay, similarly it is the time when your clock rings and you wake up, right? Similarly, it is the time when the testosterone sends the chemical message to the seminiferous tubules, and then the seminiferous tubules says that now is the time to produce more and more sperms, or it promotes spermatogenesis. Okay, so this was the whole histology of the seminiferous tubules. You can also find the sectional view of the seminiferous tubules in your NCERT book, and once you open the NCERT book, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE, and here you will get every day free live classes at 12 p.m. And you will also get the contents which are related to NEET-UG. Next, another main little bit part is there, that is penis, or you may say your pineal gland. That is the male which is present in the male external genitalia, and this penis is just a bulging organ. Okay, and it is having a foreskin. If we draw a penis like this, 1 second. Yeah, so I'll show you somewhere here. So if we draw a penis like this, and it have a foreskin. Okay, so this is the foreskin of the penis. Sometimes in case of religion and some other cases, it is removed, the foreskin is removed. Okay, and this foreskin is covered by, this is a movable skin. This foreskin is a movable skin. So if it is asked that in the male body whether there is any movable organ in the penis, so yes, the movable organ in the penis is your foreskin. That is a movable skin which covers up the penis. Clear? So this was all about the penis, which is where you may say it is a glands penis. Okay, glands penis. You can also find in the diagram which is present in your NCERT. So make sure you follow your NCERT book, all the diagrams, and while you are studying this note, make sure you open the NCERT diagram and study the note. Okay. Next, now we'll move on to the female reproductive system, and we'll have all the sectional view. Till now we have completed the male reproductive system. You can see from here. Okay, we started with human reproduction. We completed all the overall mind map of the human reproduction. Then we studied about the primary sex organs which is present in the male as well as in the females. Then we studied about the secondary sex organs which was present in, yes, we studied about secondary sex organs which were present in female as well as in the males. Then we studied about the development of the sex organ, how we can develop a sex organ. So during the intrauterine life, the testosterone and ovaries were developed. It was a mesodermal origin. It was developed from the abdominal cavity. Now after birth, what happened? The testis descends into the scrotal cavity via the inguinal canal. Here I show you a diagram of the testis, scrotal chamber, and along with the penis, right? Next is the male reproductive system. In the male reproductive system, the primary organs are already discussed. That is, one pair of testes is present. It is in what it does, it is situated in the scrotal sac. Scrotum is there. Scrotum is made up of two main muscle, that is the Cremaster Muscle and the Dartos muscle, right? The testis is lying on which temperature? That is, it is lying on 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius temperature, which is very, very important. Okay, which is very, very important. Next thing is it lies in the external and the internal layers. Okay, it lies in the external and the internal layers. So this was also important. 1 second. Yeah. Next, what we studied about the structure or the internal structure of the testes, how the testes look, what is the outermost layer, what is the middle layer, and what is the innermost layer of the testes. Okay, testes is 3 coated layers and it is covered by the 3 main layers. Now each testis is divided into 250 compartments. Yes, it's true that each testis is divided into 250 compartments, and how the compartments are divided I have already written here, so that if you watch the full video one by one you will be able to take out the note from this. Next is we studied about the accessory reproductive gland, that is about the seminal vesicle, what are the functions of the seminal vesicle, then the prostate gland, what are the functions of the prostate gland, then we studied about the bulbourethral gland, what are the functions of the bulbourethral gland, and we studied about the Copper's gland, what are the functions of the Copper's gland, then we studied about the location where the Copper's of the bulbourethral gland is present, then we studied about the where it opens up into and what it discharges, what is the function it provides, lubrication to the penis, and then we studied about semen. What does the semen contain? The semen contains the sperm along with the accessory reproductive gland fluids, right? The pH of the semen is 7.3. then it contains what we have already studied. Normal sperm count in a normal male will be 20 to 120 million per ml, right? Then we studied about the histology of the seminiferous tubule. So seminiferous tubule is known as the kitchen of the sperm production, right? Seminiferous tubules has 2 surfaces, one is the outer surface, one is the inner surface. Outer surface is made up of white connective tissue, yes, white connective fibrous tissue, and the inner surface is made up of cuboidal germinal epithelium, right? Cuboidal germinal epithelium helps in the formation of the spermatogenic cells. Spermatogenic cells ultimately forms the sperm, and then there is some other epithelium which is known as the columnar epithelium, which is an exception. Columnar epithelium has the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells provides in the nourishment and nutrition, and also it is known as the subtenticular cell. Yes, and we studied about the penis. There is a movable skin in the penis, and this movable skin is known as the foreskin. Clear? Next, we studied about the endocrine cells. Endocrine cells are also present in the seminiferous tubules. These endocrine cells are known as the Leydig cells. These Leydig cells are known as the interstitial cells. These interstitial cells secretes what? Testosterone. This testosterone does what? Promotes the spermatogenesis. So each and everything, all the VVI important topics of the NEET-UG I have completed and studied. In this whole video session, in this whole live session, we have studied about the male reproductive system in details. Now if you want to have the female reproductive system in details with me, you can surely join the next session holding at tomorrow. Then gradually we will move on to the structure of that is made up of the hormones, etc. and etc. Okay, so bye each and everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to our amazing channel ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Okay, so always don't forget to hit the bell icon while subscribing. So do subscribe to our amazing channel, and bye bye each and everyone. Till then, take care, goodbye, and in the next video we will be talking about the FRS, that is the female reproductive system. Till then, stay tuned to ANAMIKA'S EDUSPACE.